Good morning. It's another beautiful day when it's negative 20 outside. Yeah, I am sorry for my appearance. I'm exhausted. It's been a weekend of doubles, and I'm at my weekend job, but I want to take a minute to go over this daily reading. Actually, I didn't want to, but I'm going to anyway, because those are normally the times you need to do it most, right? Okie dokie, here we go. The thought for the day. When people come back to AA after having a slip, the temptation is strong to say nothing about it. No other AA member should force them to declare themselves. It is entirely up to them. If they are well grounded in AA, they will realize it's up to them to speak up at the next meeting and tell about their slip. There is no possible evasion of this duty. If they are thoroughly honest and really serious of living in the AA way again, when they have done it, their old confidence returns. They are home again. Others should not mention their slips again. They are good members of AA. Am I tolerant of other people's mistakes? Alright, again, if you're not in AA, if you're not an alcoholic, you can use these to NA. Whatever applies to you, just take little, to me, I'll talk about my slip. The last slip that I had, my DOC was heroin. I'm not scared to say that. I just hope I don't get censored or something because it's the internet. And my last use on that was about 5 years and 10 months ago. But I did have a slip on alcohol last summer. And it was embarrassing, I stood for recovery for so long, and I'm this huge advocate for recovery, and I could feel when things started to get bad. I got into a relationship that was not healthy. I was not in a good point. I should have never even been ready for a relationship at that time. And he was an alcoholic. And slowly but surely, we were having dinner one day, and he's like, well, you can just have one, can't you? And I did. And that was dumb. I knew I couldn't. And, then I was drinking to deal with the depression of this horrible relationship and this fear. I just bought this house, and I invited this man to come stay with me. And, then all of a sudden I'm realizing this is never going to work. I invited an alcoholic to come live in my space. What have I done? I've made a huge mistake. So then, I was drinking to try to cover up the anxiety and the fear that I was having. Which, God put that, a stop to that really quick. I ended up getting another DUI. And by the grace of God, I was still able to keep my job, which was a miracle. And a real quick reminder, bitch, you cannot be doing this. You have too much to lose. And that was the thing, too, is for my first DUI, it wasn't a problem. I didn't have anything to lose. I didn't even have to pay for anything because I was broke. So the government, took the tab on most of it. But this time, there was a lot to lose. I had a home to lose. I had a job that means the world to me to lose. All the people that, have looked up to me, and I felt like I let so many people down. But I'm just a human, and I really had to forgive myself for that. And all of a sudden, I had to restart my journey, go back to outpatient treatment, which I had a wonderful counselor, lucky, and it was really nice to get those refreshers, because going back to that and going back to meetings gave me the confidence to be able to end the relationship and get back to being, super Maddie. So being transparent is a huge part of my recovery. I have to be honest. I have to be brutally honest. Sometimes I'm probably a little bit too honest, and I put myself out there a little bit, but back in my youth, I lied so much, and I was such a sneaky, deceptive human being, and that was just disgusting. So now I don't have any reason to have to lie to anybody, and once I got it off my chest, it felt like I could breathe again. I'm not living in this little square where I'm scared to tell anybody everything, and I'm ashamed, and shame is a whole nother subject, but the transparency is huge. Being able to talk about it is huge, especially at a good meeting, because no one there is going to judge you. They're just going to accept, and then we move on. So if you're in recovery and you've had a slip lately, it's okay. Just get right back on that recovery horse. Get right back on that wagon. We can fail 55 times. We can fail 1,000 times. That doesn't mean that we're hopeless. Statistics even say the first round of treatment usually doesn't work. Now, miracles happen every day. I'm a miracle. If you've been in recovery, you're a miracle. It's a miracle we're alive. But don't give up. It's all right. Things happen. As long as you're trying and your intentions are good and pure, things will lead you in the right direction. So anyway, that's Maddie. That's my little thought for the day. And sober is sexy.